Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Another planting video that we have for you today. My name's Sherry. And so I'm basically just going to be doing watering and plant chores today. If that sounds good for you, you know, I hope that you keep watching. If not, then thanks for at least giving me a chance to steal your time today. So mainly what I want to do here before I start watering is, last week I put up a video on repotting my Alocasias to the naked root pot. And today will be the first day that I actually rewater the two of my Alocasias that have gone dry and gone through the dry cycle. So yeah, and I want to go through and look at all of the Alocasias and see how much water's left and where we're at. So yeah, so I'm going to do that first, and then I also want to show you two Anthuriums that I put into the naked root pots as well last week, but I didn't record them. They seem to be really doing well. The unfortunate part is that these naked root pot planters only have 3-inch, 5-inch, and an 8-inch pot, which doesn't do well for those of us who have mini plants, and they're all at different stages. So a lot of my Anthurium aren't going to be able to go into these. And the main ones I'm really was wanting to do is the seedlings, but oh well, we'll see how that works out. I might be able to put them in the 5-inch, but right now it's a little too big. So anyway, so let's go ahead and I want to go ahead and get this little. We'll do the little one first. So come up a little closer here. So the update here, so this one's been dry now. This one is going on, all my notes are on my phone. So, but I think this one's been dry now for 5 or 6 days. This is in a 3-inch pot, and it's been dry for 3 days, and it took it 4 days to dry out. So they have some recommendations on their website about what plants are your frequent waterers, which some of mine fall in that category, but they are on an average or a medium water is Alocasias, and they're saying that you should wait dry. You should put these in dry cycle or the dry stage for 14 days. I feel like that's too long, depending on what plant or Alocasia that you're dealing with here, and that's one of the things we'll talk about. So my Caprea. All my Capreas, the 2 corms and the big adult right here, they require lots and lots and lots and lots of water because they're growing. They're constantly growing. And so I've chosen not to wait for the 14-day dry cycle. I'm doing the 7-day dry cycle, but I've actually added an extra day on. So really, I think what I'm doing is 8 days dry cycle for my Capreas. So today we're going to go ahead and water this one, put it back in the reservoir, and then we're going to water this one for sure. He's in the middle of growing another leaf, which you can see somewhere around here. I don't know how I can get it in there. Right there. So he's growing another leaf, and when he's growing, he needs lots of attention. I won't go into why this one looks so funny. I did that, and I talked about this one last week, so feel free to check that video out. But so this is in the 8-inch, and it's been empty now. It's been empty now for, the dry cycle is 8 days. And I believe, if I remember, I put in my app, I feel like I put in my app every 18 days, I will be filling this one up. So I've gone from every 3 days to filling this plant up or watering this plant to every 18 days. Now that may change depending on the heat, the humidity. We're going into fall, which will be drier in here. I don't know how the growth will be, but if he continues growing like he's been, I suspect that this probably won't change, but it's always good to always be on top of your plants, as you know already. They change constantly, and we have to adapt to them. So as of right now, that's what I'm going to do with this particular one. So we're gonna refill this one. We'll refill the baby. Now, the next one that I did was a couple days after I did the Capria, was my black velvet. So the black velvet is really close, but he still has water in here. He has probably a ½ inch left. Not much left, but I think when I did this last week, he probably had an inch left. So this one I actually had in a 4-inch pot, I think, and I had to water it the same cycle every 3 days. So I don't think he still requires as much water as this one. So I haven't set a date yet. Like once it goes dry, I may make the dry cycle for this one not 8 days like this one, but I'll probably make it longer, maybe 12 days, possibly the 14 days that they recommend for alocasias. So I won't be doing anything with this one. This is the corm that I did last week, and he's almost out of water. Obviously I can't show you guys, but I mean, I could, but then that would kind of screw the camera up. I have probably maybe this much water left. So I suspect this will be dried out within the next day or two. So this is the Alocasia silver dragon scale corm. I don't think that he's very healthy. I'm actually waiting on this next leaf to come out that's growing. If that next leaf grows out and it looks wonky like these, I may not be keeping this plant because these don't look healthy to me. And like I mentioned last week, that a few weeks back, I noticed some kind of larva or icky, like clear worm, the size smaller than my pinky, down here in the mix. But I treated it, I isolated it. I don't see it anymore. But I don't know if it's done something just with these existing leaves, or if it actually did something to the plant itself, and I'm not going to probably keep it if it doesn't put out a good leaf. So here's the other Capria that I have potted up, in here, and I did this last week, and he looks like he probably has a little more water than the silver dragon scale. So I would say probably this one has probably another 4 or 5 days before it goes and it dries out, and then the dry cycle will begin. I don't know what's gone on with the leaves other than this is the oldest leaf on this plant, and it was the first one that really pushed out so pretty, but now it's starting to get this, I don't know what's going on here on my ends. This one came out wonky. I think it got stuck. I don't think I was giving it enough water at the time. So hopefully he'll be all right. I do see a new leaf popping out here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's real tiny. So this one will be a couple days before the dry cycle starts. And again, once the dry cycle starts, I will probably keep the caprias at the same watering cycle, so I don't get too confused. That's the nice thing about using an app, which is all on my phone, that I'm using my phone to record. So yeah, the other ones, now the big adult dragon scale, it's really heavy. Gosh, everything's falling off. It's really heavy here. And it's got at least 2 inches of water left. So that tells me this one, even though this one had to be watered probably every 5 days, let me get this up here. This one had to be watered every 5 days in the plastic pot. And I've noticed that this ugly flower, which I believe it's the flower, don't get me started on these goofy things. And I think it's putting a lot of energy into growing this. I'm not cutting it off yet. I like I said last week, I've learned my lessons. Let it grow out, or it's going to get this all hunched, stuck inside the stem and really grow wonky. So that's just my 2 cents. So yeah, so this one I believe is going to be probably the dry cycle will be 14 days like they recommended, because I don't see this one using the water near as fast as the Capria. So he will just sit here and wait until his water dries up. Oh, move this over here. So the other one, which I haven't checked for a couple days, is the Alocasia Friday, which, guys, I absolutely love this new leaf. I know I showed it to you last week, but look at this. Look at this leaf. It's absolute stunner. I really hope and pray that I get more of these leaves. I will be so happy. I'll be so happy. So it's very heavy. So let me put it down here. I would say this is kind of like the dragon scale. It's used up 1.5 inches of the water, and there's probably another 1.5 inches in the reservoir. So this is another one that I'll probably put on the dry cycle for 14 days once it's dried out. But again, I'm not sure either, because it all depends on what they're doing. I can see that there's a new leaf a new leaf is forming. You can't really see it well, but anytime they look like this, there's always a new leaf that's on its way. And I just don't see it yet, but I think that there's one coming. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, let me go get the Anthurium. Well, actually, I can just take you over. So that's what I wanted to focus on today with you. I'm not going to show and record all the watering. You've seen plenty of those. If you want to see more of those, you can let me know in the comments. I love doing them, but sometimes I don't know if people really enjoy those or not, because can be some fun things happening in the watering, by the way. I have a bloopers and blunders video, which I'll link to this one. And it's probably my most viewed video other than my mom videos that I do. It cracked me up. So, it's in the first 5 minutes of the video. So feel free to check that out. It cracked me up when I did it. So anyways, yeah, so let me take you over to the Anthurium table. Here are my Anthurium babies. I absolutely love. I don't have all my Anthuriums over here, not yet. I don't know if I will. A lot of them I have over here. They're the bigger ones. So my Anthurium luxurian, look at the size of the leaf that's coming out. Wowzers, right? So this is a brand new stem and I guess root system from the old when I bought it. So I have one old leafy left, which you can see here is pretty beat up, but it's completely regrown, and that's pretty cool. I wasn't sure. I was concerned when I got that plant at the looks of the leaves. They were a lot prettier at the time, but they look pretty old to me. So I'm happy to see that he's pumped out this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful leaf. This is my Anthurium Andean. That is a hybrid from Equigenera. As you can see, it's working on another leaf as well. Yeah, right there. And then my other Anthurium, or four more, or three more, I don't know how many. This one is the hybrid from also Equigenera. This is the Zamora Queen. I wasn't sure if I was going to actually keep this plant, but I sure am glad I did, because look at the size of that leaf that it gave me. It's gorgeous. Now, I think I'm getting another leaf. Yep. So I'm getting another leaf right there, and I'm really pumped. I'm excited to see what it's going to give me. The other one, of course, is the Pallidiflorum, which he's given me another new leaf here. But this is also a brand new leaf. Not this one. This is the original leaf. But here's his new leaf that he gave me. I haven't measured the length of it, but it's pretty long. Let's see if I can get my, there we go. So it's hard to get him all in with this format. If I did a portrait mode, you could see, but so that's how long he is. The next Anthurium over here is my Queen of Hearts. I do believe this is I think that's another stupid flower, but I'm just letting it go, guys. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. And it may not be a flower. It could actually be a leaf, but I don't know. So this is brand new, obviously. Hasn't opened yet. But I like keeping the bigger ones over here because I don't have enough room for them over in the smaller table. Plus, these seem to like the more of a light. And this Soltec light up here is a large. And that, as you can see here, it goes out way far, which I actually have more room to add plants if I want. The Soltec over here, my Hoyas, and my Alocasia and my other plants up here, orchids, that's a small, so it's for low light. I got that one because I felt like that low light is better for that than the bright large light. And the same with these Anthurium. I want these to be dark, and by keeping the lights lower, I get the darker leaves. And so far, and I do the same down here, this has Barina lights down here. I don't know, let me get down here first. So, what do you see here? Yeah. So this is Barina lights, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 up here. I have 2 off. So there's a 3, there's a 4. Now, when they were under the 4 lights, this started happening. It's a lot better now, but it was starting to burn, and it was starting to get too light. So when I brought them over here, I decided to keep it down on low light, and they seem to really like that. So I've got a few gnats over here, which is really angering me. But I put all new plastic stickies out, and it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stuck on my stickies as of a week ago. That isn't bad, really. That's not bad. So, all right, okay. So, I'm still at my Anthurium table. Just need to readjust. So, this is the seedling that I went from a 2-inch, and this is a 3-inch pot. This is the only one that I could put in to the 3-inch. My other ones are in 4 inches, so I couldn't move them down. The other one is in a 5-inch. Yeah, that one's a 5-inch. So, I got sidetracked. All right, so this is a Tazula A.AOS, Ace of Spades. Dark form crossed with SCA period Papillanum A plus crossed with self. I don't know what all that means. I have a video that I can also link in here where I talk about this and show the mother plants. So future share, remember to put that in to the description. And I can tell already that it's almost out of water. So I redid this the same day I did the Alocasia. So that was last Saturday, and today's Friday. I'm off on vacation today. Yay. Yeah, so this is almost empty. I have very little water left, but as you can see, it's still dripping. I don't think, let me see, and it's very dirty. So typically what I'll do is I know where the level is, where the water is. So I'll dump this out and clean the inside out, and I'll put the same water in, or the same levels of water in, so it doesn't get too much. I want to make sure I do it right. So if you look here, I think I can do this without spilling it. I don't know, guys. Yeah, I can't. I'll have to dump it. So sorry, but yeah, so it's like about right here. So this one's drinking this up really fast, and that's exactly why I put it in this pot. However, one thing that this pot, and I now that I've had them a while and I've been studying more, I've never owned or been doing semi-hydro. I've never done that. I've never had a self-watering pot. And if you go to the Naked Root plant website, make sure you do, because this is not a substitute. This is not a self-watering pot. It's not. The self-watering pot always keeps everything moist all the time. This does not. You have to have the dry cycle to do what they've designed it to do, and that's why you have it the way it is. They want it to be more natural and have the dry cycle and the breeze from your fans or just from the air itself come through here, and it'll dry out and give it oxygen. So that's a big difference between a pot, like I have up here, and then a semi-hydro pot, or not semi-hydro pot, but I just said it, and I've completely forgot what it, self-watering. Is that it? Yeah, I guess so. Pot. So just pay close attention to that. Make sure you really understand it. You can see my first video. I did it for 30 days with my Ring of Fire. I learned a lot from that. And I honestly, at the time, didn't think I was going to switch to these pots until the Alocasia caprea. And I said, I need to get this thing into more water, more moisture longer. And I didn't want to do the self-watering pot. I didn't want them to always have moisture in them. And this seemed like it'd be ideal. So again, I'm not sponsoring them. I'm not trying to sell them. I'm just simply someone who's doing this YouTube stuff to be able to share with you what I've learned, and then you can decide on your own whether or not that's something you want to do. I will not put all my plants into this. There are some plants that I won't. Now, can I change my mind? Yes, but most of these big ones won't. Number one, they can't fit into an 8-inch pot. They only have 3 sizes, folks. That's a downside in my book. So I hope that they start working on getting larger sizes for us and taller ones, because the Anthurium need taller pots rather than these short ones. And so does Alocasia. So there are downsides from using this pot, especially at a later stage as the plant grows. So hopefully by the time that they get there, they have more of a selection for us to be able to choose. So that's this one. Now, the other one, now this is very interesting, okay? I bought this plant, I bought it from Equigenera USA, and I think I bought it back in March. Pretty sure February or March. And I was really disappointed in it because the newest leaf that it had pretty much was yellow, and I eventually cut it off. Now what's left are the 2 leaves that I think it's 2 original leaves. So why am I disappointed? Because it never grew. It's never grown. Has never grown. It's always had a little bit of a stem. Okay, a little bit. I saw the red stem, and and originally I up-potted it to a 5-inch pot, 6-inch pot when it came to me. And I had decent roots, but I always upsized my Anthuriums because I've learned from other creators that that's helped the leaves really pop when they have new leaves. Well, this plant's never popped a new leaf for me since I've had it, and it's really slow. And I thought, I was actually coming to a point where I don't know if I'm going to keep this, because it kind of just draws on your energy levels, where if a plant doesn't if it doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies, and it doesn't give you that boost of love and this is awesome and look at what it's doing and I'm treating it right, and you know, that whole is it euphoria? I don't know. That really great feeling that we can get, you know, and it's more of a draw on you. It doesn't really do something for you. Then you have to make a decision if you're going to keep it or not. So I decided last week this plant was going to go into naked root pot planter, because I downsized it to a 4-inch. I downsized it to this size. Now I think this is a 5-inch. This is not the plant I'm talking about. But this is a 5-inch. And what it's in now is a 5-inch. So I went from a 6-inch to a 5-inch, and then it was thirsty all the time. The roots look great, just nothing ever happened. However, in 1 week of putting it in this pot, my Anthurium besseae, I guess that's how you say it. This here is the original leaf. This here is an original leaf. I cut off the newest leaf long ago, but look at what's coming out, guys. I mean, hello, can we say, yay, look at this beauty, right? I am really pumped up. Now, you might say, well, Sherry, if it's all I ever really wanted was water, why would you use this pot and not a self-watering pot where it's always moist? Well, I don't know. I haven't tried them yet. But this one, like I said earlier, just a few minutes ago, I really want this to work. I like the idea of having the whole oxygen thing drying out. I like the idea of not having to water these plants for a certain amount of time, where even in a self-watering system, you have to do it at least 7 days, maybe 8 days. I don't know. It probably depends on, obviously, the thirst of the plant. And another thing, guys, I don't want pond. I like soil. I like my plants to have its nutrition. I like to be able to simply pour the fertilizer on top and let it go. Where I've seen plenty of channels where it takes a lot of work for pond plants. You have to have all of your special sauces, I'll call them. You have to have them all. You have to have it right for the pH balance. You have to do all of this work that I really don't want to do. I've decided I'm not going to do CalMag. I've decided I'm not going to do all these other things. I fertilize, and I also add BTI every watering to help control the fungus gnats larvae. So that's it. That's all I want to do, and let the soil do the work for me. So that's really my answer. And like I say, I'm just so impressed with this, because look at this. I mean, guys, I'm ecstatic about this. And what that tells me is, even though I watered it every 3 days, I probably messed up by making it in too small of a pot, obviously. So this is a 5-inch. But I feel like that my other one was a 5-inch, but it could have been a 4-inch, and it was just too small. But it was in a big 6-inch pot, and it never gave me anything. So I don't know. And I'm not saying it's this pot. I'm just saying that it's happy, and it's come out. I mean, last time I looked at this was like 2 days ago, and there was no leaf, guys. This was bigger. I noticed that this was getting bigger, but wow. I mean, I am so happy about this because I know a lot of people love the besseae, and I love all Anthurium. This is my choice of plant. This is it for me. This is my favorite genus. So I really was hoping that it would give me something. So it finally has, and I'm excited about it. Now, where we are in water, we still have about, guessing, a little over an inch. So, and it's not real heavy, so there's not a whole lot of water in there. That tells me he's drinking up a lot of water, just not real quickly, which is fine. So his dry cycle, I'm not sure yet what I'll do. Based off this, I will probably keep him the same as my Alocasia, the Capria, maybe an 8-day cycle, but we'll see. We'll just see what happens. So those are all of my dry root pot plants that I have to show you, and now I have a lot of watering to do. And if you're interested, I'll be more than happy to do a video on all my little beautiful Anthurium seedlings, do some updates if you want. You can find all of these. Ooh, look at this, he just came out too. Now he's not in a dry root pot, he's in just a normal one. So that's what I'm saying, you know, and I watered this one every 3 days. So this one might go into a 5-inch like that one. I guess I get a little scared because I actually put this one in a 5-inch tall pot not long ago, and it was way too big. Although his root system has gotten really nice, he's still too small to put into that size of an up pot. So I probably won't put him in this size yet, although it looks fairly the same, but I just feel like that I need to wait until he grows a little more. And again, I don't mind watering at all. I love doing it. It's a great hobby, but I think that this would be extremely happy in one of those pots. I know he would be, because he's just always been a good grower for me. So yeah, so that's that. And I will, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to cover. Really, that's what I wanted to cover today, other than the watering. I do eventually want to talk about my story with this guy, my Anthurium pendants. Isn't he gorgeous? Oh, I just love this plant. However, as the story goes, yeah, I still don't know what he's doing in here and how he's doing. I'm trying to recover him from root rot from buying him from a Equigenera pop-up tent that they had here in Ohio 4 weeks ago. Maybe it's been 5 weeks. But I plan on taking him out of this today to check him out and redo. I'll probably go ahead and re-add fresh water to it, and I want to see where the roots are. So what I'll probably do is create a different video for that while I do it today, and then try to push that out in a couple weeks and kind of do a storyline with it. So we'll see. Yeah. So anyways, that's it for today. If you want, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Yeah, have a blessed day. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. That really helps my channel. It keeps me incented to keep going with these videos. I love doing them, but I like to also know people really want to see them.